Welcome back to the Y.E.S Functional Longevity Podcast. We give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Borda, best-selling author and owner of Y.E.S Fitness. I want to first thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to listen to what I have to say. And I hope today's information will help you navigate through this busy time of the year. Before we get started, I'm sure and hope that everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I know I had a great time. Dinner here with just my son Max, and then I head down to my daughter Paige's in Arlington, Virginia. Friday, saw my mom, some of my brothers and sisters, cousins, and things like that, nephews. It was a really nice time. Saturday was out shopping and got to meet Paige's boyfriend for the first time. A really nice young man, Jamal. I was pleased to meet him. And then finally on Sunday, I got up and got a little workout in. Actually, we got a workout in on Friday morning, and I got a workout in on Sunday morning. Went to Paige's class Sunday morning, and she has really developed into this wonderful little coach over at Arch Theory. So that was what my weekend was like. There was some goodies involved there, some big meals on Thanksgiving and on that Friday. But not to worry, got a little workout in and did a lot of walking, and we're back to our normal nutrition for what will be a busy time of the year. So before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping. I will start right now by announcing our Christmas schedule so people get it into their heads, because there's a lot of information coming at them, a lot of things going on right now. So we are open on Christmas Eve, the 24th, for our amazing race competition. That will be the only coaching that we do on that day. It's a fun day. If you want to join them with us, there's teams of 4. You don't have to have a team of 4, but we can put you on a team. You can sign right up at the front desk. And we will be closed Sunday, as we always are. And then we're going to be closed on 26th Monday in observation of the holiday. So that's what our Christmas schedule is like. New Year's, we're open New Year's Eve. We're closed New Year's Day, and we will be open January 2nd. I'm pretty sure. Well, I'll take that back about January right now, but I do know that's our Christmas schedule. Some more little housekeeping. If you want to get the show notes or the show notes for any of our 223 broadcasts, you can head on over to yesfitnessct.com. Scroll on down to the bottom where it says podcast. Click on there, and you'll see all our broadcasts. You can get transcripts or show notes, or whatever you would like. And finally, you can get this broadcast anywhere where you listen to your podcast, so the Apple Podcast, Spotify, and the likes like that. So let's get right into it. I know everybody's busy, so let's get started here, because if you don't pay attention now, you will hate yourself later. What is this all about? Well, we are headed into the busiest time of the year. We all know that. For the next 4 or 5 weeks, it is just crazy with events, schedules, things, parties, family things, all kinds of stuff, right? And all these added commitments wreak havoc on our schedule. And it might lose some of our control. We get a little off track, and adding some stress and burdens just to fill your cup, things that we don't really need to have happen. So here are just a few reminders on how you can navigate this holiday season. So the first thing I want to remember is this: one bad meal or moment doesn't make it unhealthy, doesn't make you unhealthy, pardon me. And just one good meal or moment doesn't make you healthy. So what we're talking about today a little bit is about consistency. It's the key to just about everything in life. You need to stay consistent. And most people struggle with staying consistent, especially at this time of the year. They're either going to struggle with their nutrition or their weight, or they're trying something new all the time, but never staying consistent or committed to any one thing for their health and fitness, which will lead them down a wormhole of frustration and anxiety, lack of results. And it's just saying to yourself, I'm just not getting results. but I've literally tried everything. Well, one thing you may not have tried is trying being consistent. That's what's important. And you may not be able to consistent all the time. And it's a challenge to be consistent. Okay. And what we want during the holiday season is to try to stay as consistent as possible. And staying consistent is the secret sauce to the ultimate success. So, in fact, staying consistent is how we help our members get long term sustainable results at Yes Fitness. And it's how we get those most desired results too. So, you don't need to do the next best thing. You don't need to do the best diet. Hell, you don't even need to be perfect 80% of the time. Okay. 90% of the time is where we need to be at to be consistent. So with these holiday parties and gatherings and events and things like that, just remember one bad meal doesn't make you unhealthy and one good meal doesn't make you healthy. It's all about the other moments, the meals and the exercise that we can string together and add all up and being consistent. So let's talk about how to get through the holidays with no regrets. So let's face it, right? It's a hard time to stick to healthy eating and an exercise plan during the holidays. Everywhere we turn, we're going to be tempted with foods, with treats, office parties, and other traditional family favorites, right? And when you add a busy schedule filled with shopping and get-togethers, that make it tough to squeeze in exercise. So you have to have a plan. You have to have a recipe to try not to fall into this disaster. Okay. And here's the good news is you really can get through the holidays without gaining weight. It'll take some time, a little bit of effort, but you'll thank yourself 1,000 times over when you get to January 1st. It rolls around and you have no regrets. I've seen all kinds of studies on the average weight gain from Thanksgiving to January 1st, anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds up to 8 pounds. 8 pounds means you did a really good job at eating a lot and not moving much at all. Because 8 pounds, that's a whole lot of extra calories in your nutrition. But you can get through these holidays without gaining anything. So your first goal, I would say, is to greet the new year without tipping the scale. It is wise to try to maintain your weight during the next few weeks instead of trying to lose weight. Remember, through these holiday seasons, they come once a year. Everyone's in a great mood. We want to be able to enjoy them. We don't want to be miserable and feel deprived. This means you need to allow yourself to have occasional treats and splurges and keep the scale where it's at rather than trying to decrease your weight. Because decreasing your weight, losing fat has to be a real focus. We know that, not just with trying to get more exercise in, but reducing our caloric intake. We need to have a deficit, and that is a challenge. So there's several ways to try to accomplish this. First is try not to skip your workouts. Even moderate intensity workouts can burn 300 to 400 calories per hour for the hour. You need this calorie burn to keep up with the richer foods that you'll be eating. You will be less likely to overeat if you just sweat through a hard workout. I hear it all the time when people say, when I'm working out, I eat better. So make sure we're still getting those workouts in. Can they be a little abbreviated? Sure. Take them down a little bit. Try to get more intense, but just make sure we're still getting them in. Eat breakfast, okay? People who eat breakfast consume fewer calories throughout the day than those who skip it normally, okay? Unless you're used to skipping breakfast, try not to skip those meals. You might want to think about for the next few weeks to try to keep a food diary. Write down every single thing you eat, even if it's only one bite of a shrimp cocktail. It is a proven fact that keeping a food journal results in better weight control than not keeping a journal. So maybe just for a couple of weeks, start jotting some things down. Keep an eye on your hunger, monitor it. Never show up to a party or a buffet starving, or you will most certainly overeat. Drink water, have plenty of protein, protein-filled snacks like nuts and cheese before arriving. We talked about this last week, how we want to try to address going to an event. This will keep you more self-controlled around all the different temptations. And let's just eat those temptations that we don't normally eat. Take a serving and get away from it. You might think about weighing yourself once or twice a week. Maybe you don't normally weigh yourself at all. It's a good idea maybe to keep your eye on a scale for the next couple of weeks if you have a scale. I know a lot of people don't. But if you start to see the scale to creep, you can know immediately to take steps to correct it, such as backing off on your calories for a day or two, drinking a little bit more water, making sure you get enough sleep, maybe even add a little more exercise. Maybe think about getting a little bit longer walk in during the day. Let's always keep an eye on your portion sizes. If you have an idea how much food you're putting in your plate, you'll be less likely to overdo it. Take a look at a chart. This is a chart we usually familiarize ourselves with, is our portion control size. We use our hand. So the palm of a hand for a female or a male is a portion size for protein. That's a portion size for vegetables. And a cup like this is a portion size of carbohydrates. And then your thumb is your fats. If you're male, you get to do 2 of those. And that's going to kind of, you just look at your plate and see that that's not a whole heck of a lot of food if you take a look at your plate. So portion size is probably, if I've found over the years, one of the most important areas to keep your eye on. And it's an area that you really can make some changes. Or in this case, to be able to maintain the weight that you're at by just staying within your correct portions. So we're approaching this holiday season once again. And for many of us, this time of year is full of enjoyment, family gatherings, parties, and holiday things. And all these things can make sticking to the fitness plan a challenge. So here are some tips to help you with your fitness. You know, if you've been getting up, getting to the gym regularly, and you've made some progress, the goal is to maintain the progress for the next 5 to 6 weeks. Don't necessarily try to work out more. Try to maybe not necessarily work out harder. You've been thinking about staying on your whole fitness thing. Now's a great time to get started. Okay. Instead of waiting, if you've been thinking about starting, let's get started now. Let's not wait. So here are some tips for you. Set a workout goal. How many times do you plan to hit the gym work out between Thanksgiving and New Year? I recommend trying to get 2 times a weekend, especially if it's strength training. This will ensure you maintain your progress and you get a great start to be focused when January comes around. You're not trying to make up for lost time. So this means you need to plan on 12 workouts over the next 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 workouts, whatever it is, and put them right on your schedule. Put it in your plan. Some weeks maybe you'll have to fit 3 workouts in. But let's try to get 10 to 12 in, okay? Any more than that is a bonus. 2, let's think about going easy on the booze. With 2 or 3 Christmas parties a week, it's very easy to pack on additional pounds from alcohol alone in 1 month. Not to mention all the junk food, the cravings you'll have the next day, the junk food that you're eating while you're drinking. This doesn't have to be immediate, have to be non-alcohol, okay? But just keep your eye on it. Maybe think about cutting down your consumption. Maybe put a weekly goal on how many drinks you're going to have. Or when you go to an event, have a goal as to how many drinks you're going to have, right? And stick to your goals. Eat something before your first drink. Real food, not salad, okay? Have some protein or something with a little higher in fat content is your best choices. Drink 1 glass of water between each drink. This will help slow you down and help you feel full. Order your drink straight up on the rocks. This will prevent you from consuming extra sugar calories from all the different mixers. And let's drink what you enjoy. The difference between beer, hard liquor, and wine is minimal if you're going to drink whatever you enjoy. So drink what you enjoy. And you really put a stop to drinking if you were to offer to be the designated driver. Then you can't drink at all, right? A couple of things to keep you on track here. 1, make sure you're getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. If you aren't getting enough, your body's not going to function optimally. We know that when we're tired, our willpower battery goes down. And at this time of the year, we do not want the willpower battery to be drained in any way, shape, or form. We want to make sure that we are full of energy, full of willpower. Um, this was a thought about when we head to a party. Make sure we have a little bit of something to eat before we go. You're right. We don't want to get to the party on an empty stomach. You'd be tempted to eat like crazy as soon as you get there. And eat what you want. Not every day, but like on at an event or on the actual Christmas Day or New Year's Day or something like that. Just eat what you want. If there's a certain dish or appetizer or dessert you love, go for it. Over Thanksgiving, we ate Thanksgiving dinner, had some chocolate pie afterwards, but we ate dinner in the afternoon and I didn't eat the rest of the day. By the time I drove down to Virginia, I didn't get down there. We ate dinner at about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I got to Virginia at 9 o'clock at night. I didn't eat anything after that. So basically I had one meal for that full time, probably the same amount of calories I would normally have eaten. And then on Friday, I had a nice breakfast after our workout. And I headed over to my sister's for dinner. Again, we only had one meal. Hadn't had this meal in a long time. Had some cheesecake, I believe, chocolate cheesecake. Yeah. And yeah, had some good food. But again, I only ate one meal because we had eaten early. So I saved calories by not eating dinner. And I wasn't hungry, that's for sure. So, Saturday we went out to dinner with Paige and Jamal. And wasn't necessarily concerned with what I ate. I didn't have dessert, but just the times where I was eating over the weekend, I just enjoyed myself, and I wasn't necessarily concerned about the caloric intake. I eat slowly, had conversation, and by eating slowly, taking my time, I didn't overeat. I didn't get stuffed. But it's okay to have some occasional indulgences. Okay. When you do get to work out effectively. Time is an issue more than ever during these holidays. So you need to get the most bang for your buck when you're working out. So keep in mind, research has shown that over 12 weeks of weight training can result in 6 pounds more fat loss than aerobic training. So let's make sure if we're getting anything in, we're hitting the weights hard. We're getting 30, 45 minutes of strength training in a couple times a week. Another thing to think about is, hey, let's make sure that we're getting our NEAT in when we're talking about movement here, our non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So park further away, take the stairs, never mind the escalator. You don't need an elevator. Take the stairs. Take a little walk after your meal, okay, to help with your insulin sensitivity. Just be conscious about it. Think about it. I have on my phone now, I don't have my phone near me. My phone updated and put this app on it that's going to count my activity and close the rings and all that kind of stuff. And typically by the end of the day, my phone's yelling at me because I haven't closed my rings. But I know in my mind, when I just take a look at my day and I count it up, I walked this morning for 3 miles. That's going to get me 6,000 or 7,000 steps. I know I was out training on the floor for a couple hours today. And I know for sure by the end of the day, I have 10,000 steps in. So I got the activity. I got my need in. That's what I was looking for. I want you to think about relaxing. So enjoy this time of year. Stop stressing about everything you have to do. No one cares if the presents aren't wrapped perfectly or if your house isn't perfectly decorated. What matters is being around and spending time with those you enjoy and love. So just slow down, stop stressing, and enjoy this time of the meal. Maybe think about doing a meditation for 1 to 10 minutes each day. Maybe you can sit down and watch a Christmas movie on the Hallmark Channel each night for a few minutes. Read a book. Just sit by the fireplace and enjoy the company. Just try to relax and enjoy the holidays, right? So I'm hoping these tips help you to survive. It's our little survival guide to try and stay consistent Plan your schedule, plan your eating a little bit. When you know you're going to go to an event, make sure you're planning and getting your exercise in. Make sure you're sticking to your sleep pattern, drinking enough water, getting enough movement throughout the day. And I know by January 1, you'll be happy and you won't be hating yourself, right? You won't be saying, I didn't pay attention. Now I hate myself. So that's what I got for you today. I, again, appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I look forward to guiding you through these holidays. If you need help with anything staying consistent or exercise-wise, certainly get a hold of me. And I look forward to talking to you again next Tuesday, the same time, 3:30. Thanks again, and have yourself a great evening.